Welcome, everyone. Today is Wednesday. Isn't it lovely? It really is. um, doesn't it feel good when you do it? This is the part for me that makes me, um, or should I say, it's one of the things I do to help myself to stay in the state of the wish fulfilled. You see, they call it a dopamine hit, yeah? That satisfaction, that rush, that you accomplished something. But that is natural for us. It's natural for us, right? Because when you feel good about the thing you've just accomplished, what are you more inclined to do? Do it again. You are more inclined to practice and do it again. That is the natural progression of things. That is what helps us to cause effect, right? And to move and to expand. That's why if you do it and you stay faithful to it, you know exactly what it's going to feel like. So perhaps then, as you are falling asleep at night, if you fall asleep in that state of, when you just accomplished that thing and how good you felt, you can always remember that feeling, can you not? Maya Angelou said, people may not remember what you said to them, but they remember how you made them feel, because it is the feeling that leaves the impression. And the impression is what sets the blueprint for us to recreate from. So, you notice how good it feels when you do it and you do it well and you're so excited by it and you're like, oh, this is nice. Let me do it again. If you would remember that feeling and fall asleep in that, that is falling asleep in the state of the wish fulfilled. The feeling of satisfaction, the feeling of having accomplished something. Just like if you fall asleep, the scripture says, don't let the sun go down on your anger. And of course, people think it has to do with relationships, but in actuality, it is you. Do not let the sun go down on you if you are in foul mood. Why? Because whatever mood you go to bed in is the seed you have planted to face the day. I'm going to say that to you again in a slightly different way. Whatever mood you fall asleep in, those are the experiences that will be waiting for you when you get up in the morning. So, this is why when you want to accomplish something, even if you can't see it, even if you can't hear it, you can feel the sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. When you sit back after you've made that meal that you think is really something special and you eat some of it and you're like, that's nice. I did that. Oh, I sure did. That was me after I made my first batch of ginger ale. I was like, "Ooh, girl, this is good." My son said, "Mom, this is better than the canned stuff." Let me tell you something. I know I had hit a home run. When your child, who is the pickiest eater on the planet, says to you, "Mom, this is really good." Listen, you can fall asleep with that feeling. Do you think your subconscious mind cares? It doesn't care that that feeling isn't about money. You can make it about money. Fall asleep in that sense of accomplishment, even though it was just somebody saying to you, that's better than the store. See the sense of pride you feel and accomplishment you feel? Well, then link that sense of pride and accomplishment to the bank account. Why? Because the subconscious mind, or should I say, the womb, does not care what seed you plant in it. All the womb does is bring forth life. So if you plant that positivity, if you plant that sensation of accomplishment, you must reap the experience that confirms your accomplishment. And it doesn't matter what it is that you want to use, as long as it is a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment, it is all across the board. It could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be a new career, it could be a new car, it could be whatever it is that tells you, when you look at it, when you interact with it, you say, well, I did that, didn't I? Yes, I did. Can't nobody do it like me. Hey, that's how you pump yourself up in the state. And when you get into that state of accomplishment, you will notice the difference between that and the dopamine is that you for the dopamine, we go out and we look for something that we think will make us feel better. But when you get a true sense of accomplishment and you get the dopamine, you will know I brought this upon myself. And it's not that um, it feels different. It doesn't have that major spike and then it crashes. No, the dopamine that you release when you are the one who was deliberate to accomplish the task. Oh, that dopamine is sweet. Don't get it twisted. It is sweet but long lasting. You don't go chasing it. You call it to you by assuming the state of the wish fulfilled, feeling that sense of satisfaction. And when you feel that sense of satisfaction, what happens to you? You say, I did this. I set myself free. Now, somebody would say, well, that is blasphemous. God did that. Yeah, but what is God's name? I am. And where does God reside? In me, in you, right? It's God that resides in you. And if God were not in you, you would not be walking, talking, breathing, living, nothing. You wouldn't be. You wouldn't. So we all know it's God. But where is God? Inside of you. So if God didn't animate you, who would be doing it? Nobody. So who did the task? I did. So when you say thank you don't just say thank you because you've got a mouth. You say thank you because you know that, hey, greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world. What does that mean? It means the creator is greater than the creation. Without the creator, there is no creation. Hmm? So that's why you don't worship your creation. You don't chase your creation. You recognize you are the creator. And then you say thank you. You see, we want to be quote unquote virtuous. But the moment you say, well, it was God, it wasn't me, what position did you now put yourself in? The bottom of the food chain. Why? Listen to it. Well, it was God, it wasn't me. I'm just a poor lowly human. But who inhabits the body of a lowly human? The greatest. So you cannot say you're this lowly human. You cannot say that because then you belittle the greatness that is in you. But you see, we are so scared to be confident because we want to imagine that confidence is arrogance. Those two are not the same. Confidence is the surety of self and who and what you are. Arrogance is, I'm better than you. Ain't nobody better than nobody because we all have the same greatness within us. So this morning, lose that. Lose that. That false sense of virtue. You don't walk down the street shuffling your feet like you've got problems, like Atlas with the world on your shoulders. That's not how you walk through the world. You walk through the world as if God Himself, itself, were living in you and giving you the power to think and to reason and to breathe and to move and to love. Shoot, even the hate. You see? So doesn't that make you feel good? So now that that makes you feel good, when you remember, don't you remember you told me you love me, baby, right? When you remember, the memory is accompanied by a feeling. And the feeling that it is accompanied by is the one that left the greatest impression upon you. That is our nature. I promise you. Go through the Rolodex of your memories and you will find one that, we like the bad ones, right? You find the one that hurt you the most. Why do you think you can remember it so vividly? Because it left an impression on you. So when you begin to celebrate what you have accomplished, it also leaves an impression on you. So when you're falling asleep, it is easier to hear, you know, how about you remember the fun you had today? Remember the accomplishment. Remember picking the first batch of berries off the bush. Remember how good that felt? Fall asleep in that memory. Just not what you did, but how you felt. And because you fell asleep in that state, whenever you wake up in the morning, you will encounter another situation that makes you feel the exact same way you went to sleep. And is that not what you want? Of course it is. Listen, we have the ability to, we can't stop the ebb and the flow, right? But we can kind of suspend it in a way. How? By rising above it and deliberately choosing the feeling you want. That's how we do it. The ebb and the flow will never stop because it can't. But you can rise above it. Meaning what? Choosing where and what you want the ebb to be and what you want the flow to be. Which means when you choose, you say, you know what? I'm going to rest right now. I'm going to rest. You choose your ebb. Instead of working your fingers to the bone and being exhausted and falling into your bed at night and being at the mercy of the ebb. See the difference? You can't stop it, but you can choose. This is why I keep saying to you, when the scripture says whatever is good, whatever is true, good report, it says think on these things. Why? Because when you think about those things, they make you feel good. And when you remember the good feeling, all you need to do is remember the good feeling over and over and over and over, and you will experience things that match that good feeling. All of us have a memory of a good feeling. It does not matter the cause of the good feeling. Don't worry about the cause. Can you remember the feeling? And when you remember the feeling, fall asleep like that every night. Don't think about your problems. If you want to move through your problems, change your state, get into the memory of the good feeling. I'm doing my very best this morning to tell you how to change your life. You have that one teacher in school who made you understand because they cared. And every time you went to their class, you felt special and wanted and appreciated and loved. Well, then, you don't have to remember the name of the teacher, but remember how the teacher made you feel wanted. And you're going through this world and you say, well, nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. Remember the way you felt when you went to that classroom. You felt wanted. Fall asleep with that memory. And let me tell you something, Linda. You will make friends. You will encounter people who appreciate you. Why? Because you are the one frolicking in the memory of being wanted. You see, we think we have to force life to occur. All you need to do is to remember the goodness. Because what are we doing otherwise? Remembering all the dumb shit that happened to us. And what do we keep doing? Reliving it. So that's why this morning I'm doing my best to make it easy for you. Easier for myself. Right? So what are we going to do? We want to change our lives? Find a memory. Because it feels good. That memory where you felt special. Where you felt accomplished. Where you got that pat on the back that said, ooh, you did that, girl. Here's a promotion. Bring that memory to the forefront. Bring the memory to the forefront. Listen, it is our nature to bring memories forward. That's our nature, to bring memories forward. So you're not forcing yourself to remember. You're just choosing the pleasant things to remember. And the longer you remember and feel the pleasant things, remember, it's not the what you are remembering. It is how you felt that you are remembering. And how you felt with that sense of being wanted, cared for, appreciated. Maybe you had a grandmother, maybe you had a grandfather, maybe you had an auntie or an uncle who really, truly, genuinely appreciated you. But you see what we end up doing? We end up pining and longing for the mother or the father that abandoned us. And what? Reliving relationships that match that abandonment. But what if you brought up the memory of how you are actually wanted? You had the evidence, all of those people that made you feel that way. Remember that sense of being wanted instead of remembering the abandonment. One of them feels really good, and the other, well, makes you want to feel good. So why not? Think about it. Think about this. When you feel bad, what do you want? You want to feel good, don't you? So why not just go for the memory that feels good in the first place? Why put yourself through the torture and then have the audacity to say, the universe is teaching me through suffering? No, you are remembering the suffering. And because you are remembering the suffering and the way it made you feel, you are reliving the suffering. You are your teacher. How long will you languish? That's up to you. But even in the midst of the dark places, we want to feel good. So then, feel good by selecting the memory that is associated with feeling good. We all have them. Don't get it twisted. We all have experienced feeling good. Find that memory again. I don't care how deep it is in the recesses of your mind. Listen, it could be in the bowels of your mind. Get the plunger and bring that bad boy up. Okay? Suck it up. Because you have to pull it up first before you plunge it down again. Think about that. Think about the plunging motion. You push down, sure, but you've got to pull it up. So pull it up. Pull it up. Stop suppressing. Stop suppressing your good memories. Because people say, well, isn't that just evading life? No, it isn't. You already know what bad feels like. Don't you? We all do. So what do you want? You're not ignoring it. You're not pretending it isn't there. You know it is there. You have acknowledged it is there. And you said, ooh, this feels bad. You know what? I'm going to choose to feel better. I'm going to choose a memory that lifts me up from the bowels of darkness. And I'm going to feel good. You know why I'm going to feel good? Because if I am in the state of feeling good, I will experience good things in that state. But if I'm in a state of feeling low and dark and dirty, I will have to experience those things. And it is time for a break, isn't it? Isn't it? Of course. Why prolong? I told you, we have the ability to suspend. We can either keep ourselves in the ebb of good and flow of good, or we can keep ourselves in the ebb of bad and the flow of bad, just by what we choose to remember. So, doesn't it feel good when you bring up that good memory? Bring up the good memory. Remember the first friend you made that was real nice? And if you're living in this world and you say, well, I don't have any friends, nobody really likes me, go back to the memory of that very first friend that you ever encountered that made you feel so special. Go back to the time you first had ice cream, because it doesn't matter what you remember that made you feel good. What matters is that you remember feeling good. And what did you do right there when you remembered feeling good? You moved yourself mentally from a low mood to a better mood. And what is a mood? A mental state. And what does a mental state do? A mental state dictates your behavior and the experiences that you live. So when I tell you that you don't have to force life, that's what I'm talking about. When Neville says it should be effortless, that's what he's talking about. We've got these memories. You might as well use them to your benefit. Anyway, don't let me keep hollering in here. Ooh, let me say hello to everybody this morning. Symmetric, hey, I see you here on Twitter. What a privilege to see you. YouTube and Facebook. Oh, look, here's a name I haven't said in a while. Miss Peace. Hello, beautiful. Son, Wealthy Supreme Rico, and the others who've not made themselves known on Facebook and YouTube. I still see you. YouTube, who's bumping this morning? Come. Not YouTube. What am I saying? Fan base. I'm looking at you, fan base. I'm just so excited. Afternoon Delight is in the house. Malik, Miss Crenshaw, Happy is here. Shea Butter. Joyce. Well, hello, dearest. Stephanie, Miss McQueen, Oracle Treehouse, Fawn, Flo Smiles. I miss my Joaquin this morning. I wonder where Joaquin is and how he's doing today. I will have to slide into his DMs. Yes? Listen, let me pop into the chat here on the fan base. Joyce, you better you better hope it wasn't too long of a snapshot of that song, because you know how YouTube and they are with their copyrights. Yes, Happy, remember the feeling, not the cause. Listen, if you remember one thing, remember Maya Angelou, because we all loved her to some degree. Her one of the most popular things she said, people will not remember what you say, but they will remember how you made them feel. So that's why the feeling is the secret. Mm. Well, yes, Happy, without the creator, there's no creation. Because cause and effect. As within, so without. For a creation to exist, something had to make it. It cannot come by itself. Hmm. Hmm. You know what I'm saying now, right? So look at that. We're all here this lovely Wednesday. The sun is in my window. The rooster's in the closet. Oh, I put him in there at 3 o'clock when he started singing, but you know, he can't help himself. But I needed a little bit more rest. I digress. But I will always remember the first day I met him. I was scared to even touch him because I'd never touched a bird, let alone a chicken. I'd never. That was alive. I didn't know how to deal with that. But he was so cute. And I wanted him to be alive because that's why I got him in the first place, right? Because of his injury. The natural course would have been to get rid of him. But I was like, no, he's so sweet. And every day I look at him, every day he pecks me. I still kiss him and I still hug him and squeeze him because I remember. Even when I'm out at the store, listen, this is real sad. Let me tell you. Even when I'm out at the store, I remember what time he crowed and I have to laugh. I remember the way he gives me the side eye when I talk to him. He answers me back. And it makes me just giggle. And I'm in the middle of the store and I'm just cracking up. But all I do is hold fast to that feeling. Especially when you want to worry about how am I going to do that. Don't worry about how you're going to do it. Pull up the memory of accomplishment. We have all accomplished something beautiful in our lives. We have. Pull up the sensation of accomplishment, the feeling of accomplishment, and stay there for as long as you can, for as often as you can. And you, by way of law, will have planted the seed of accomplishment, and thereby you must reap what you have sown. And you'll notice it doesn't take any work at all to find a memory that feels good. It just feels so easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Oh, wow, effortless. That's what I want to convey. Yes, Flo Smiles, I did save him from being a two-piece. A two-piece with biscuit and gravy, girl. Yes, I did. So it's like, I want you to remember that. And I like the way how Happy put it in the chat. She said, remember the feeling and not the cause. Because sometimes, yes, I did call your name, didn't I? Remember the feeling. Because sometimes the cause has happened. Listen, the cause could have happened 30 years ago. The cause happened 60 years ago. You might not remember the cause. Like even if I talk to my father, he will tell me how he felt when that one teacher told him, you'll never be smart. He's 72 and still holding on to that. Still lives by it. When in actuality, He's got one of the most functional and brilliant minds I've ever come across. But he believes otherwise. You see? You see how she made him feel? He remembers. That's why I'm saying to you, it is always going to be easier to recall and remember the ones that make you feel best. Really. And of course, you could have a memory that, you stuck it to the man. Listen, you can use that one too. Stick it to the man. But caution, if you use the memory of sticking it to the man, it's the feeling you want, not what brought about. You don't want the incident. You see why you don't remember the cause? You remember the feeling? Okay, just now you know what I'm saying. Next thing you know, you're going to have to stick it to the man again by some experience. Nah, just remember the sensation of satisfaction, of accomplishment. Remember those. Listen, here's how you're going to make your life easy. When you get a break today at work, where's Double A? Double A is on a break right now, but he may be working through that break because he's usually here when we're on sometimes. You get a break. Go find somewhere quiet and lay there for 5 or 10 minutes and just remember a sensation. And associate that sensation with having accomplished whatever it is you want to accomplish. You want more money in the bank? Well, go and lay down or lean back and sit down and remember the sense of accomplishment. You see what you're doing? Anytime a doubt arises, oh, you can't do that. Nah, bring up a memory of accomplishment. Because now you're going to be associating that new thing that you keep telling yourself you can't do. You're going to associate that thing with a sense of accomplishment. Having what? Done it. So you're not pretending that you've done it. You are knowing that you've done it. Why? Because if you could not recall the sense of accomplishment, you wouldn't have done it. It is the feeling that confirms to your body that you have done it. So you see, the next time you hear, it doesn't matter what you want, you have it. You have it because you have the memory that you can recall to confirm that you do. So when you confirm that you have it, take a moment and bask in the afterglow. And when you bask in it, revel in it. You ever seen a bird in water? Splash, 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 sprinkle, sprinkle. They got it all over their feathers and they just shake. That's what you do. That's what you do when you remember your sense of accomplishment. A better way, if you want to be, not so animalistic, you could think to yourself that you're like Mary Magdalene. And you're like, oh, look, here are the feet of Jesus. Let me sprinkle, sprinkle all of this expensive perfume all over you. But get this, you are the feet of Jesus. Yes, you are the feet of Jesus. So, honey, pour that sweet perfume all over you. Revel in the sensation of your accomplishment. I'm giving you all these examples so that when you go through the day and something crops up, an effect crops up that you put there, you can say to yourself, I know I put that there, but I know how to move it too. I like to move it. Anyway, I digress. You'll know how to move it. You move it by remembering accomplishment. Because the accomplishment is in a different state of mind. And the longer you remain in a particular state, the more persistent you are in a particular state, you will reap the fruit of that state. Don't let me preach. I'm done preaching. Let me get the bowl. Hey, Hilarion. Let me get the bowl. Ah, KZ. Hi, sweetie. I've missed you. Let me get the bowl for us this morning. And as you hear the bowl, pull up one of the best feeling memories that you can. Just pull it up and revel in it. If you'll notice that revel and languish are very similar. To revel in it, you stay in it. To languish, you stay in it. But languish is to suffer. To revel is to rejoice. So which one do you want to do? So this morning when you hear the Bowl and Bird song, revel in the beautiful memory. See that feeling that it's in your chest? Revel in it. See if you can revel in it all day today. And when you slide out of it, say, whoa, whoa, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be reveling. Now, listen, if you grew up in the Caribbean, especially in Barbados, and it's crop over time, you know, Carnival, yeah? Yeah, that's what, you know what you call them? Revelers. You know why you call them revelers? Because everybody has been probably drinking and dancing and sweating and having a grand time. And so when the party done, nobody wants to go home because you just want to keep reveling. So then revel in your mind's eye. Ain't nobody know that you reveling. But you know how they'll know? When they start to see all of this fruit that you got, what? Running over. What does the scripture say? See if I will not pour out a blessing on you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Why? Because you went into your closet and you closed the door and you reveled. And your father, who saw you reveling in secret, will reward you what? Openly. Why? Because as within, so without. So don't let worry make you languish. Get the memory that feels the best and revel in that. And I promise you, you'll be in my DMs telling me things like, oh my God, you'll never believe what happened. And I'll be like, oh, what happened? Tell me more. Oh, that's a tasty tidbit. You did what? And I will be here to fake my enthusiasm. Why will I fake it? Because I already know what's going to happen. So I have to pretend. It's better for me to pretend than to say, I told you so. Well, you can decide which one you want me to tell you. I could be like, listen, I already knew this was going to happen. I told you so. I could say that. That's not going to make you feel good, is it? No. I'd be like, girl, let me throw some confetti for you. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Right? I celebrate with you, even though we know what? Celebration is the only way. So you see how we can overcome? See how we can get that rent paid? See how we can get that new career? These young people on their talk. See how we can get that new job? You see how we can get new clients? Get into the state of accomplishment and revel in it. And let me tell you something, you won't have enough baskets to keep it all, like the disciples. He said, put your net down on the other side. That means get into a different state. And all the fish they caught. Now, this is what I don't understand. So you're trying to tell me that all the fish were on that side of the boat only? Weren't no other fish swimming around the other side? What does that tell you? It tells you change the way you think. You have all of these things. Esther Hicks says all of these things are stuck in your vortex. That's what she calls it. All of these good things that you want and you've been asking for are stuck in your vortex. But your mind, even Einstein said it, Can't solve the problem with the same mind that created it. So what do you have to do? Change your mental mood. And to change your mental mood this morning, when you hear the Bowl and Bird song, pull up the memory that feels the best and revel in it. And you gonna bust that net, let me tell you, with all of the fish. What's fish? Your accomplishments. Oh, Sonic is wife material. Hey, honey, you don't have to wait for that moment. You know why you don't have? Oh, I am glad you said it though. You know why you don't have to wait? Because the moment you feel it, your body says, "We doing it now." But you're not feeling it tomorrow. You're feeling it now. Now, 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 now. That's from Kung Fu Panda, but I digress. You are feeling it now. You don't ever have to wait to accomplish anything. Feel accomplishment now. Why? Because when you feel accomplishment now, the subconscious mind or the womb says, oh, shoot, we're pregnant with accomplishment. Time to have this baby. You see, we keep ourselves in a state of waiting and wanting and longing and pining. Don't do that anymore. Go into your memories and pick out the memory that best matches accomplishment, the one that made you feel good. And now you don't have to wait anymore. You're in it. You're feeling it. And because you're feeling it now, your body says, oh, we're feeling this now. And the more you keep feeling it now, that's the more the baby grows. That's the more the seed grows in the womb. She's not waiting for her baby, you know. She's pregnant with the baby now. Just don't ask a woman if she's pregnant, please. Don't do that, because she might not be, and you might get slapped. But I digress. So you see how we're not waiting to conceive. We can mentally impregnate ourselves at any given time. Yes, honey, I know. I hear you too. I trust that these analogies helped you, so that when you feel the need to, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do it, that you will know what to do. And you'll do it. Because we're not just hearers of the word, you understand? We are doers. Listen, we are always doers. You can't be a hearer and not be a doer, because you got to hear. Hearing and doing, ooh, same coin. It's either you doing what you've always done, or you doing the new, but you doing. So choose what you're going to do. Anyhow. Y'all got me sweating. Yes, Miss Peace. That's how you that listen for you island folks. When you're reveling, you got how you say it in your song, you got a man in front and a man behind and a woman in the middle. Because everybody is whining and grinding on everybody, because they're just reveling and have a good time. That's all it is. Ugh, the smell, just the thought, because all that sweat. But I digress. But they don't care that they smell bad. You know why they don't care that they smell bad? Because they having a good time. So what's I tell you? The point is to have a good time and mentally impregnate yourself with that good time. And next thing you know, well, they're your baby. You got your baby. Anyway. Well, we could do in the ground. Baby. We could do that one too. But let me get the bowl for us. Okay? So you got all of these tools in your toolbox. Make them work for you. Use them. And you, again, before I hit play, you will notice you don't have to force yourself because everybody wants to feel good. Ain't nobody like walking around looking like mopey. Everybody wants to feel good. Well, then, feels good. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hilarion, symmetric. Oh, lovely to see you. Miss Peace. Sonic is wife material. Son, Wealthy Supreme Rico, and for the others who've not made themselves known in the chat on YouTube and Facebook, Miss Crenshaw, Happy Shea Butter, Joyce, Stephanie, Miss McQueen, Oracle Treehouse, Miss Fawn, and Flo Smiles. Thank you all for being here on such a lovely and glorious Wednesday. Oh, yes, it is a glorious day today. Indeed, it is. I got my new website up. Not for Positively Angela. Uh, I haven't relaunched that one yet, but there's tons of stuff coming down the pipe. There really is. I posted it in the fan base chat. Just doing things that I'm passionate about, which would be natural medicine in my city here, and also virtually for people. So if you want to be a part of that, just message me and let me know, and I'll send you the link. Just working on my intake forms at the moment so that we can do a proper consultation. But for those of you who don't know, I do have my PhD in traditional Chinese medicine. So that's what I'm using because I love it. Because traditional Chinese medicine is the law. Yes, it is. When I was in school, I didn't know that because I didn't know the law at the time. But with a fresh eye and a new spring in my step, yes, it is. And so it is amazing. So watch for the boot camp coming about that, about our thoughts and the way our health corresponds. I'll show you. But all those things are coming. So feel free to message me. And I should be getting my sample deck to make sure that everything is as it should be. And then we print. So it is all good. She found an error with the box and she's like, Angela. So she had to correct that before she started printing. So I was like, come on. But a watch spot never boils. So the cards are coming. And if you want, you can still pre-order if you like. You can still pre-order cards if you'd like. The link is there. And those cards, they don't tell you your future. They help you to create your future by way of law, day in and day out. So I'll see you tonight at 10:45 p.m. The bedtime lecture would be the law of assumption. It's another short lecture. These are his radio lectures that he hosted. Like he went on. Yeah, this is his radio, the short versions. So, oh, Miss Peace, thank you. Peace and blessings to you too, my dearest darling. Yes, I didn't forget you a little bit. A little bit also says to enjoy the beautiful day, everybody. I'll see you tonight. I will see you tonight. Much love, everyone.